What's up, party animals? My name is Kezi, and today I wanted to rant about raves. So as I have mentioned on other platforms and stuff like that, I've been busy, and I have actually... So YouTube has been kind of a slog to get through as well, because I have been so busy. Last week I did like 3 events back to back to back, like 4 events. I did a lot. So I helped out do a fur meet, I helped out do another Renegade, and then I helped out at a Plush party, and then right after Plush, I helped with another Renegade, and it's been absolutely exhausting, I'll be real. But it's been super exciting, and it's been super fulfilling. Having something to do all day other than bed rot and scroll Instagram has been nice. I've been a very, very busy yote, but I've also been getting myself exposed to a new scene. And I brought this up earlier in a different video, and it is worth talking about some more now that I've learned some things. And don't get me wrong, this has been super fun, but it comes with a lot of downsides as well, because, well, it's... like anything that involves humans, it can have drama involved. And, you know, if people say, oh, the furry fandom is drama, my goodness, wait till you see DJs. And I want to preface this. I don't want to preface this. I'm just going to start talking. I'm exhausted, though. It's like summer, and I'm trying to wear my fursuit, and there's no air in the room, because if I have a fan blowing, it ruins my audio. So, like I just mentioned, I've been helping out do raves a lot lately, and it's been really good. Overall, it's been a very positive experience. I've been helping out mostly with lighting, and then I'll do DJ sets as well. People love the light spread that I have, and people have been enjoying my music. So I'm helping. I'm really enjoying personally what I'm doing to aid on the experience. I'm happy to help. I love that I have something I can be doing to help, and people seem to be pretty appreciative of what I have to offer. And that's not true for everyone. I feel like a lot of people, you know, they focus on, I mean, there's a few things to focus on first, obviously. You know, you need to have DJ equipment, you need to have speakers, you know, those are kind of like the essentials for being a Renegade DJ. However, I've noticed that people tend to sleep on things like lighting, and that can be hard to obtain. So while I went into the Renegade scene, not really with any intention of doing much, but I found myself being in a position where being the lighting guy actually had value and added to the event overall. And so the lights that I can do are absolutely divine. I love the layout. I love the spread. Here's a video of like how it looks, and I'm very happy with it. So, it's kind of surprising to me where I want to do this. You know, I bought stuff so that I could be part of the rave community, not like as like a paid admission, just that like I want to do my part to help make like raise everybody up an extra level. And you know, it's working. You know, things are really good. It's looking like stuff is awesome. But then I'm starting to meet other ravers. I started this early, so it's still springtime. I think I started it slightly before spring. Maybe it was like right after. But it was like the first nice day of the year. And so the other Renegade groups are trickling into the same area we all share. And some of the Renegade people suck. And it was kind of this moment of reflection after one of the earlier events that I did, where it seems like everyone goes out there and they have something to prove. You know, they're afraid that they're not getting taken seriously. They got a chip on their shoulder just because they spent, the price of a used car on a sound system. They act like they're owed, this kind of glorious thing or whatever. I mean, even still, one of the people was kicked out after acting that way, acting like he was owed women. Like, women owed him, relationships and stuff like that just because he put on the Renegades and he's so cool. And it's like, no, for one, that's not true, and thankfully got kicked out, but that vibe is still prevalent, and it's really toxic, where these people roll up with, equipment, and they'll roll up with really good sound systems. Awesome. They'll have great equipment. They'll have, a very professional stage. And yet they show up with all this fancy crap, but then, have bad vibes and boring music. And so, it's like they're rolling up with all this stuff just to either flaunt how much money they have or like try to act like they're better than everybody. Because when you're down at the Renegades, this isn't done by rich people who, have a... This isn't done up by like high caliber people. Like, it's a free event, so literally anybody off the street can just walk up and decide they're part of the rave too. And that's fine. That's what I enjoy. But I feel like a lot of people go to these things just to feel better about themselves or act like they are on top. They're like the top dog because they're putting themselves in an environment where they're not doing, the bottom rung. They're top dog at a Renegade, sure, but as soon as they go to a music festival, they're no better than anybody else. And so, like, I think that's a really bad prevalent vibe that just keeps kind of getting cut through the scene. And it's really sad to see, because someone like myself, I'm so thankful to be part of this community that, is for the most part there for the music. They want good vibes. They want to hang out and enjoy tunes and weird locations. And the struggle is when you get these people who are clearly there to prove a point that they're hot stuff or whatever, and it's this kind of like pay to win mentality, and it doesn't actually get you very far. And so you end up surrounding yourself, when you have this mentality, you end up surrounding yourself with a bunch of the similar people that are only there because they want to, rise to the top or whatever. And that's a really bad place to be. No one leads with gratitude. I mean, some do. Some very much so do. And the host of my Renegade crew is actually like that. He is a really good person, a kind soul, and I very much appreciate that. If he had the same attitude that some of these other hosts have, I probably would leave the crew or just get kicked out because, the vibes would not mesh. And so the energy of the event can be kind of dampened when you have these people coming in with their bad energies. And then, of course, they play kind of lame music or whatever they have because, they just think, oh, because I know how to use DJ decks, I'm automatically amazing. And that's not true at all, actually. You could be, it's about creating a vibe. And I feel like a lot of the DJs, a lot of the hosts don't really understand what they're doing. And that's another thing too, is that we have, 3 or 4 different crews, if you will, that all want to set up at the same time. And that's fine. However, no one wants to talk to each other. And so when you have the group that I run, where, we have one spot, well, then another crew wants a different spot, and then they don't talk to the other crew who, then they're going to have speakers pointing at each other. And while a little bit of sound bleed is okay, most people can kind of tune themselves into whatever they want to listen to. But when you have, sound systems literally just almost sharing airspace, well, then you're kind of screwed, right? You're struggling to actually make a cohesive set. The beats aren't synced, and it's just kind of a mess. But that can be avoided if, guess what? you talk to each other. And that just doesn't seem to be the thing. You know, no one wants to be... Again, it comes back to, like, everyone's afraid. You know, no one wants to be the guy that caves to a different crew who wants to do anything else, because they see compromise as weakness. And if you're weak, well, then you don't deserve anything. And that's because they've lost sight of why they're doing it. You know, you're not trying to be the biggest and best and only stage there. You're trying to get an experience out for people to enjoy. And if you're doing that, then you're doing a great job. But when you're, you know, stepping on everybody, trying to climb to the top, you know, a lot of people feel that and they get, you know, they get kind of hurt by it. And that's sucky, you know, right? Like, that's a real bummer when, you know, you get... It's the two cakes analogy, right? Like, you know, one group is just like, one group makes a cool cake and then another group makes a better cake. You know, yeah, sure, your cake might not be as cool as the other cake, but guess what the people think? Two cakes! And so that whole mentality doesn't seem to percolate through the scene as well, and so you get a lot of people butting heads. I nearly witnessed a fist fight just because someone wanted to set up their own stage. And, like, dude was getting insulted left and right. He's like, I'm gonna, why are you doing this? Why are you such a piece of crap? Are you drunk? I can't believe you're drinking. And it's like, of course he's drinking. We're at a party. Like, duh. So, like, throw in this shade at this poor dude who's just trying to have fun, play with his own music setup and stuff like that. And it's just rough. It's very rough. And I think that, you know, I hope that I can be a shining light in this community where I lead with gratitude and I want to lead by example, you know, where I'm grateful to be there. I'm so happy to get to put on these shows. You know, I go out of my way to help out. You know, I'm dragging a wagon full of lighting equipment. I don't even have a car. I just walk there, and it's a lot of work. But I love doing it. I love making the event better. You know, I don't act like my lighting equipment is what gets me these DJ slots. It's also that I'm good at what I do. As long as I'm doing the best that I can, then I'm in a good space. And when people are happy, I'm happy because I want a good show. Because that's what I'm there for. I'm there for the show. I'm not there for me. I don't even wear my fursuit anymore. I tried it once, and I train wrecked and felt really goofy, and it was just a mess. Unless there's a good reason for me to do it, which I was able to after Plush. That was really fun. But unless I'm able to, it's just not worth trying. And yeah, I just wanted to rant about raves for a bit because there's been some drama. I had like a big thing for Furlandia planned out, and one of the sound guys actually seems to have flaked out completely, and so now the poor guy's just out of system, and the whole rave we had planned out might have just gone down the toilet. I even like printed a bunch of flyers and cards to hand out during the con itself, and that all just might have just disappeared, which is fine. Like, you know, for me, I don't mind that I put in work with something that didn't really pan out because it's just practice for next time. However, I feel bad for the guy who, you know, had big plans, and now because someone decided to flake out, it just all went to hell. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. And one last thing, please donate to my KoFi. I have a big con coming up. Literally like a couple bucks my way would help immensely. I really, really, really appreciate it. And then I appreciate the patrons that are scrolling on the screen right now. And until next time, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye. So yeah, I'm playing at Furlandia. My set is midnight to 1 a.m. Please, 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 please show up. I would love to see you guys there. If you can spare a couple bucks to send my way, that'd be appreciated. Or if you could spend the 50 bucks and go to the con, do that too. So I'll see you next time. Bye.